Hello, dear Unbreakable community. Thank you so much for joining me. And I want to start with this sentence. A boundary is not me punishing you away. A boundary is me refusing to abandon myself to keep you comfortable. Say that line again with me because I want this in your bones today. A boundary is not about being difficult. A boundary is being done, being destroyed. And by the end of this next few minutes, you are going to stop apologizing for saying the word no. I'll tell you the truth about who I used to be. I was the queen of over explaining. I could say so many explanations as per why I can't do something instead of just simply saying no. And I would apologize multiple times for not doing something that I just couldn't feel right. A knock in my stomach would be for a few days after if I said no to someone. And I thought if I just explained it well enough, they will finally agree that my peace was worth protecting. And here's what I learned the hard way. And I need you to write it on your heart. The people who benefit from you having no boundaries will never, ever applaud you for setting them. Stop waiting for that applause. It's not coming. And you do not need it. Because I spent years asking permission to protect my own peace. Nobody is coming to hand you that permission. Take it. You take it. The day I stopped negotiating with people who only respected force is the day that I said my no once, calmly, and then refused to defend it. Unapologetically, no. That was the day I met the woman that I actually am. And she's not up for debate. And neither are you. Let me show you how to hold that line. That line with your kids, with your ex, who has made a career out of pushing your boundaries. And if you are a father fighting the same fight, you're right in the right room. Because guilt is not proof that you did something wrong. Listen to me, because this is the one thing that keeps you stuck. You set a boundary, and immediately the guilt follows that boundary. And you think it's guilt that is now an evidence that that boundary shouldn't be there. You feel bad. And when you feel bad, you think that you did something bad by setting that boundary. Let me tell you, no, absolutely not. Guilt is not proof that you did something wrong. That guilt you're feeling for saying no is the growing pains of doing something new. And if you've spent your whole life being the one who bends, the first time you start setting things straight, it's going to feel like an earthquake. And that's not a sign to just sit back and start redoing the things. That's a sign that you're finally growing. Because guilt is not proof that you did it wrong. Guilt is the growing pain of actually doing something new that is right for you. And hear this, because it changes everything. A boundary with an apology stapled to it is not a boundary. It's a request. No is a full, complete sentence. You do not owe anyone 20 slides of explanation just to justify your own peace. Say the thing. Stop talking. Let the silence do the work that you used to do by begging. So if something doesn't serve you, simply say no. And it's a complete sentence that you're allowed to say. Now, I know that sometimes it's difficult, and I want to practice this with you because you don't need a lecture. You just need the right words that you can actually use when your phone lights up with the name that spikes your blood pressure, your ex. And here's the rule. The rule that you should use with a boundary pusher. You say less and you hold more. You do not explain. You do not defend. You do not take the bait. You state it once and you repeat it like a woman who knows exactly who she is. So what do you do when they try to reopen a decision that was already settled? How do you set your boundary on that? You say, this isn't up for discussion. I've made my decision. And that is it. You don't need to go and add and explain why you made that decision or apologize for not changing your opinion. Stick to it. Just this one simple sentence, and that's it. When a text turns into a fight, and that happens a lot, you can end it with simply saying, I'll only discuss the kids here. Anything else, I won't respond to. I'll only discuss the kids here, and anything else, I won't respond to. Now, what do you do when the guilt trip starts? When they start provoking you? Simply say, I understand you're upset. My answer stands. And when they keep pushing, repeat the same exact line, word for word. Don't upgrade that with anger. Don't raise your voice. Just repeat it again. And that's it. That calm repetition is not you being cold. It is you being locked on that specific boundary. It's you being a locked door with a kind face. They are used to you explaining, giving them just this crack to try to reopen the situation. Give them nothing but this one sentence. A closed door doesn't argue. Be a locked door with a kind face, because you don't argue. You set your boundary with respect. Now, how do you teach your kids to say no? And that no is safe? Because most kids learn from what we do. And if we say no, but then we do it, or we apologize for it, our children learn. So the part that turns this from survival into legacy, every single time your kids watches you hold a limit calmly, without apologizing, without feeling sorry, you are teaching them something no lecture ever could. A boundary is safe. That no doesn't end love. That they are allowed to have limits on their own days. And that the world will not fall apart if they set the boundary. You're not just protecting your peace when you set boundaries. You're actually wiring your child to protect theirs and for the rest of their lives. Do you understand the power in that boundary? You're breaking a cycle in real time, right here, when you do that one step at a time. Every limit you hold without apology hands your child permission to protect themselves for life. And that's very important. Now I'm going to talk straight to that woman who just felt her whole chest tightened, because you know your boundary is made up of paper, tissue paper. You set them and you gave. You meet it on Monday, and by Wednesday, you're apologizing for it. And then you're exhausted from being walked all over in your own life. Here's the honest word that I want to tell you. You don't need more information. You already know what boundary is. What you actually need is someone in your corner who will not let you shrink back the second it gets hard. Because that work is the work that I do. That work is how I live. You don't need more information. You need the strategy. I'm not a therapist with a clipboard. I'm just a woman who walked out of the fire and rebuilt herself on the other side. And now I stand beside those women just like you while they do the same. I will hand you the script of exactly how to hold that line and remind you who you are on those days that you actually forget. And that's a promise. So, right now, in the comment, I want a declaration. If your peace is worth protecting, if you're done abandoning yourself and to keep everyone else comfortable, type this one word: sacred. Because that's what your peace is. That is exactly what your no is. It's sacred. Type it loud so other women can learn that they're also allowed to guard themselves. And then, if you're ready to stop settling and start setting boundaries that you can actually hold, let me get you the help that you need. Let me be there for you. Type heal and I'll give you free 40-minute clarity session. We'll find the one boundary that would actually change your entire life. And the exact words that you need to say to hold those boundaries. You were not put in this world to be easy to walk on. You were put here to be unbreakable. So let's go and build that. Next Wednesday at 2, we're going to talk about when and how you introduce someone new in your life to your children. How do you protect their hearts? And how do you protect your heart? How do you know that it's actually time for the children to know the person you're dating? Join me next Wednesday at 2. This will be important. I'll see you all there. And until then, heal deeply, live boldly, because you are unbreakable you. Thank you for being here with me today.